always gets me. I'm always rocking to the song, and the show starts, and it always catches me doing it.
This, you know what? Normally I would introduce you. Normally I would say, my co-host or whatever. I saw you rocking out back there on the stage, and I had said, let me just bring you in and see. And I caught you just a snitch. I mean, yeah, the song is catchy.
Wow, you picked the perfect song for that. I was like, every time I hear it, and we're doing the show, especially when you're not here, I'm back there, and the show starts, and it catches me doing it. I'm like, oh
well. Why not dance? Hey, well,
hey. Doing,
I'm doing great. Been busy. Happy summer. Happy everything.
Exactly.
Right now, you know what it is? It's Pride Month, so happy Pride Month, everybody that celebrates. So
happy Pride Month. Woo!
Happy Pride. Yeah. Of course, this is a big festivity here in New York City whenever we have it. But unfortunately, with COVID, they are postponing those events this year. So virtual Pride this month, virtual Pride. So yeah, I'm really curious to see what everybody comes up with right now at my day job. I'm doing a lot of behind the scenes work right now as a co-chair of our LGBTQ employee resource group, our business resource group. So we've got a lot of things going on. I've been hosting these documentaries where we've been watching documentaries about the community. So it keeps me busy. I'm extremely busy during this time. This and Native American Heritage Month, I'm extremely busy. So yeah, but happy Pride, everybody, and everybody who celebrates. So what has been going on with you? It's been a while since you and I have actually, conversed and been in the presence of one another. What's been going on with you?
Oh, it's been busy. A lot of it's just setting up the written writ, because we've gone on written writ Wednesdays and become written writ late right. So, I've been having people come on and talk about being creative and their projects and the whole process of creating whatever it is they're creating and becoming better writers at it. Especially more recently, I had Phil, Rob, and John Ottinger on talking about the respective properties of
and we talked about Phil Russert, everybody. That's we talk about Phil.
Tragedy, Pinguino's Revenge, Dwarves. Oh, and that's right. We also had Enrique on. He was talking about his fairy tale project.
And that's Kike, who we've also interviewed. Okay. So, oh my goodness. Well, I'm excited about this. I mean, this is a new segment to the Written Writ Ralph. And what time does this air?
11:30 on Wednesday nights, and we are the late right.
The late right. Okay. I like that. Late right, RWRITE, right?
Right.
Okay. All right.
I like saying the late right on the late night.
And how long do you go late? I mean, have you hit the 1 o'clock hour sometimes?
We've once or twice hit the 1 o'clock, but usually I try to stay on for about an hour, 15 minutes.
Okay. Pretty good. That's decent time. Mm-hmm. That's decent time. So you told me something that you've been that you got to, well, actually, before we even start, I'm so excited. I'm so excited about this.
In the Heights?
What? You don't know. You all, it's airing June the 10th on HBO Max, and in the theaters, I believe. Yes. Oh my God, I have been waiting for this. I have been waiting for this so much. If you all don't know what this is, this was the first play that Lin-Manuel Miranda hit the Broadway stage with. And it's about a group of Latinos that live in Washington Heights. And if you don't know New York City, Washington Heights is where you go for Latino food. And you could get it anywhere, but it's centralized there. So Latino food, Latino community, it's like a little, like Spanish Harlem, I guess. That's what you would call it. Like kind of like a little Spanish Harlem. But this is in Washington Heights. So Washington Heights is a little bit past Harlem.
Yeah. So above the Harlem.
Above Harlem, yes, if you look at it. Yeah. So it's about this community and what it's like to live in this community. People coming from all, places in the Latin American culture that congregate here in New York City. I am so excited about this. You know, I got to meet Lin-Manuel like virtually last year. I won a contest through my job, and I was so nervous that I didn't get to tell him that he and I had a connection, which was Robin de Jesus. Robin de Jesus was in the Broadway play of In the Heights. And I wanted to tell him, hey, you know, Robin de Jesus and I were in his first movie together. I was so nervous.
Nice.
I couldn't even, it couldn't even come out of my mouth. You know, I mean, one day we will meet again, I'm sure, and I'll be able to have that conversation. But I am so amazingly psyched about this. I actually have a trailer. If you have not seen the trailer, let's show the trailer to everybody so they can see In the Heights.
Let's go to the videotape.
Let's roll that beam footage.
Exactly.
Here we go.
What does sueñito mean?
Sueñito. It means little dream.
That's it? No story?
All right, everybody sit down.
It's a story of a block that was disappearing. In un barrio called Washington Heights, the streets were made of music.
I am Usnavi, and you probably never heard my name. Reports of my fame are greatly exaggerated. Morning, Usnavi. Pan caliente, café con leche.
On these blocks, you can't walk 2 steps without bumping into someone's big plan.
I'm making moves, I'm making deals, but guess what? What? You still ain't got no skills. I was saving up all my pennies in my piggy bank for this day.
This is going to be an emotional roller coaster. The odds are against you.
But there's a chance, right? A dream isn't some sparkly diamond. There's no shortcuts. Sometimes it's rough. Yeah, I'm a street light choking on the heat. The world spins around while I'm frozen to my seat. The people that I know.
They're talking about kicking out all the dreamers.
But every day is different, so
it's time to make some noise.
We had to assert our dignity in small ways. Shh. Just listen. Little details that tell the world we are not invisible.
Ignore anyone who doubts you.
We came to work and to live, and we got a lot in common. DRPR, we are not stopping. Every day, until the day we go from poverty to stock options. Today's all we got, so we cannot stop. This is our block in the Heights.
I got a little teary-eyed.
You know, all I heard about this when I was younger was how great it was and how I needed to see it. Never got the chance to see it on Broadway, so I'm happy that they have it like this so I can actually check it out. And it looks very well made. It looks like they actually took a musical and put it into real life.
I think they might have filmed it, some of it in Washington Heights. They had to. I mean, because you could see it, actually. Yeah. You could see, like, some of the buildings and stuff like that. But if you all don't know who Lin-Manuel Miranda is, if you saw Hamilton, you can hear the cadence and the music. The music is so wonderful in this. This is what solidified him in the world of Broadway as a writer and a rapper, a spoken word artist. And you can see some of the people that were in Hamilton are in this, but there's a few other people that we haven't seen. I think Daisha Polanco from Orange is the New Black is in there. Leslie, what is her last name? She's a Latina artist. I can't think of her last name right now. And maybe our audience will tell us, who it is. But
what's up, Shadow Rabbit?
Yeah. So I am so excited about this. I'm telling you, I mean, every time I hear the music, every time I see the video, I just get so hyped. You know,
I can tell you still sound a little emotional there.
Oh man, you don't know. I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this. So, that, that's my, I would say that's my other people. I think I have like a, um, when I came here to New York City, that was the people that embraced me because they thought that I was Latina. But, hey, that's mi cultura right there. That
Actually,
and,
you even
everything
sound
else.
Dominican. I can see why the Dominicans on the plane you were on would say, "You're one of us, baby."
Oh man, yeah. To this day, people still think that I'm Dominican, so I just embrace it. I said, "Mi vida pasada," I was, but yeah. So I'm excited about that. So, what did you were telling me that you were excited about something too that you saw this weekend, and that you said was really, really, really good. And I'm curious. You know, what is it that you saw?
I saw Raya and the Last Dragon. It was amazing. It really felt like you were immersed in the Asian culture. Like sometimes you watch a movie and you're like, okay, I see they touched lightly upon it, but I feel like they actually took time to do the research, to put everything together, to make it feel more real. Even though it's fictitious place, it that they did, it had this really Asian feel to it.
Wow. And you know what? I think that this what I'm excited about is what you're saying is that they actually enveloped Asian culture and not
Exactly.
appropriated Asian
Exactly.
culture. Yes. Oh wow. So tell me a little bit about it without telling the audience, but I've not seen it yet. I have a thing about Disney stuff that I always know that I'm gonna cry when I watch something from Disney. So I have to prepare myself for all of these type of shows.
Yeah, I definitely feel you. I'm the same way. Usually, there's somewhere down in the movie where I'm going to be like, okay, they got me. And this movie tries to hit you on all the feels. Especially for me, because it's a relationship between a father and a daughter. When it starts off, and how he's preparing her to be the next one to protect the treasure they're protecting at the point. And and it all goes out of whack, and if things go wrong because of a decision she makes, and then she's trying to make up for it after that, and not trusting people because of what happened. So the whole movie is her learning to trust others again, and trying to save her father from what happened.
Oh,
Well, her father and her people.
And her people. Wow. So here's the thing too. Anything that has a last anything in it, it's gonna be sad.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I was like,
and the actress that picked for the dragon, no, she's fantastic. I forget her name. Aquafina.
Oh, it's Aquafina playing.
Yeah.
Aquafina is playing the dragon, or Aquafina is playing the main character?
Dragon.
Oh, she's playing the dragon. Oh.
She does a great job.
Oh man. Yeah, I get emotional about any Disney movie. I think I was traumatized after my mother took me to go see Bambi, and Bambi's mother died. Like in the first 10 minutes of the movie, I was done.
Disney just loves to mess with you, and I feel like they have an issue with parents, because there's always one or the other.
There's always some type of matricide or patricide in a Disney movie. I mean, why do kids got to be alone? How come they, it's I don't know what that formula is. It's kind of weird. But
I guess it's because it gives you something to overcome. Especially, if you know how it is when you lose a parent, it's a major thing. It's whether you lose them young or older, it's something that changes you forever.
Yeah, but okay.
I think that's what it is, man. That's all I can figure out. If you look at Batman, he loses both parents, and see what happened to him.
Yeah, but you can still have some life-changing events with your parents still around.
I agree with you. I want to see a nice, happy family that goes through something. At least we saw that with The Incredibles.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. You could definitely say that you don't need to have some kind of tragic death to occur in order for that to happen. So, it is what it is. I don't know. I'd like to see a movie without me, traumatizing me like that, and traumatizing probably half the kids who are watching it for the first time. It was devastating to me. So anyway, I'm really excited too, because, I am a fan of Dead by Daylight. I play this game religiously. Dead by Daylight is introducing a Resident Evil chapter on
Ooh.
June the 16th. I am so amazingly psyched about this. I cannot tell you how psyched I am about this. So, if people don't know very much about Dead by Daylight is a survivor horror game where you actually are trying to outrun a killer. And the killer the game actually favors the killer. So it's much more gratifying as you playing playing the survivor. If you survive this killer, you get a lot of you get something called blood points, and you can buy
Nice.
certain things but you don't have a weapon or anything. It's just basically you trying to prepare 5 generators throughout a map, and you have to click all these 5 generators and then go to an exit gate or an exit. They have like a trap door that you can escape through without the killer finding you. Most of the time, though, you don't make it. But Dead by Daylight and the creators of Dead by Daylight have married with a lot of franchises. Now, sometimes they don't have full franchise rights where they can actually use the people's names and stuff like
Right.
that.
Mhm.
But like right here, they married with Ash and the Evil Dead. They married with Stranger Things.
Mhm.
They married with Silent Hill. So, I mean, there's a lot of characters that they've introduced that you would play as a survivor, and the killers are from those franchises.
Wow.
Okay, so I mean, each one of these killers has special skill set that that they use. The one is particularly for Halloween. They don't use Michael Myers as the name; they call him the Shape. But that's exactly what he's called, the Shape. Yeah. But all of these characters are in there. So now it just stands to reason that they would go ahead and marry themselves to the Resident Evil franchise, since the Resident Evil, I believe, is celebrating 25 years.
Can you believe that?
Yeah, I can't.
I remember playing the first game on the PS1 and getting myself scared.
Yeah. I mean, this is why I love this game so much. They even have a K-pop killer. They have something for everybody.
That must be an interesting version of a game.
And secretly on the down low, I don't mind being captured by this character.
I can see why.
He's
Really
hot.
pretty.
Yeah, he's very pretty. He's very pretty. So this is just like really interesting. But anyway, so it's 25 years of the 25th anniversary of Resident Evil, and Dead by Daylight is honoring them. So the characters that they're bringing on are Nemesis, which is terrifying.
That's what I thought.
To me.
I was like, it has to be Nemesis.
Yes, it is Nemesis. I mean, he is the most terrifying creature of all the
that
Resident
second game.
Oh, stop right there. How much the second game was a game that actually introduced me to PlayStation. I bought a PlayStation particularly to play Resident Evil, and I watched my brother Michael play the whole entire game. When I realized, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I did this. I mean, I was technically a computer gamer. It was not until I saw Resident Evil actually being played that I said, I have to buy myself a PlayStation.
I can see why this game was engaging, especially 2. 2 was engaging. 1 was incredible, especially for what it was, especially on the PS1. Mm-hmm. And I'm happy they've redone the game because you just need to experience the first Resident Evil.
Yeah,
it has enough scares in it, and people go, you can't be scared by a game. You can be scared by a game.
You could be terribly scared of this. You are pretty much alone, and you're so happy when you meet up with a character in a cutscene. You're like, oh my God, I found somebody. I mean, it is creepy. This franchise is one of the creepiest franchises, and it has continued to be so much that it has all these offshoots of it. But the characters that they're actually bringing in for survivors are Leon and Jill. Now,
makes sense.
Leon never met Nemesis in the game franchise. I don't know why they decided to use him instead of Chris, but they used Leon. I guess Leon.
Oh wow,
Leon
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, Leon was the first in the Resident Evil 1, I suppose. So I don't know. And they had to bring Jill because Jill, was fighting Nemesis in Resident Evil 2, so they had to bring her in. But I actually have a screener of that so that we could take a look at it.
Oh, cool.
And you can get a look at what it actually is going to look like.
That's a teaser and a half.
Yeah, my apologies, everybody. June 15th. I'm giving it an extra day. June 15th is actually coming on.
That's a
So
teaser
I'm
and
so
a half,
excited.
man. Shoot.
Yeah. So that anyway, I am so like excited about this. I cannot tell you. I cannot tell you how excited I am. So, hey.
I can see why. Have
So
you
we
guys
were
been playing the game on your other show, the Tingling Tea?
Yeah, so we're going to actually be playing this when it comes out, the Tingling Tea, which is on Thursday nights at 8:00. So you can find us on Facebook, Twitch, and on YouTube through Cliff Dive Productions. But yep, I'm so excited about this. So we're going to play it and give you all kind of like an introductory
I can't wait to see what you guys do with
it. I don't know. Apparently, because I was wondering what his abilities are, and apparently he shoots out something out of his hands that infects you. But it also, they said that the map is going to have zombies on it. Now, this is kind of new.
Different.
This is kind of new for Dead by Daylight, because Dead by Daylight is usually the 4 characters that are playing with you in the multiverse, and then the character or the multiplay, excuse me. Now, see, you know where my mind is, multiverse. The 4 characters playing in the multiplay with you and the killer himself. So there's never anybody else on the map, but apparently there's going to be zombies going.
Yeah, because usually, it's the whole scare factor that somebody's chasing you and you got to stay away from them. So this means that you got to survive the zombies at the same time as you're running away from the nemesis.
Yeah.
Which reminds me of the second game anyway. And that means that if you kill a zombie through gunshot, most likely that's going to alert the nemesis of where you are.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. You don't have a weapon in this game, so you cannot defend yourself. I mean, you have things that you can carry with you into the map that can help. They can aid you in the process of triggering these generators. It could be like a flashlight, which you could use against the killer to blind the killer. A med kit, a toolbox to help you with the generators. But there's really nothing that you can use to defend yourself. You can put certain perks on yourself, like to run fast, to hide into lockers and stuff like that without the killer finding you. And also, when you run, you leave like a trail of scratch marks, something that eliminates your scratch marks. But there's nothing to defend yourself.
That's going to be really difficult if you have to run from the zombies and the killer at the same time without being able to defend yourself.
I don't know, but that's what I heard. I mean, there is some gameplay out there on YouTube of the beta version of this, so I highly recommend that you go and check it out if you want to see it. But we will be playing it on the Tingling Tea the week of June 15th. So let's move on with this big news that's coming out, and you and I are like so psyched about this. I just was introduced to this franchise this year. I never watched any of the John Wick films, and so my husband and I decided that we were going to watch it, and oh my gosh, I'm so hooked. But yes, Donnie Yen is going to be in John Wick 4. Now, is he going to be friend or foe? Because he is a formidable foe, and I don't know if John Wick can beat Donnie Yen.
I hope they don't go the way what was that movie? Lethal Weapon. They had Jet Li on, and he was fighting both of them. And you're like, there's no way they can beat Jet Li. So I really hope they don't go in that direction.
I hope they don't either. I mean, that's so cliche, I hope that this is, written where he's supporting him in some way, or he's fighting with him in some way. But I just can't imagine it being the whole. Although Jet Li was scary, in Lethal Weapon, I didn't know how they were going to fight that.
That's what I was saying. You sat there and you go, okay, neither one of these guys have martial arts skills. Jet Li is amazing. How are they going to defeat this guy? And then, if I remember right, it was a cheesy way they got him.
Yeah, it was really cheesy. I mean, they had to get rid of him. But I'm looking at Warrior right now, and I'm looking at some of the guys that basically the Irish community that was in San Francisco at that time. They were brawlers, they were boxers, and I remember there's a scene. I think it was in the second season where the police department goes and they're having a fighting match, and the main character, who is a martial artist who does I think his is kung fu.
Right.
He or his might be wushu kung fu. He actually is fighting a brawler, and the police officer, the head police officer, goes, "I've never seen this kind of boxing before," and I was like, "Oh no, no, you haven't, dude."
I have to
and
admit,
obviously, this guy is not going to make it.
Right. I have to admit, like the best. See, but again, when he fought Tyson in the Ip Man movie, that was an amazing fight scene. But you saw a boxer fighting a kung fu guy, so you're like, oh my god, I can see that. And at least with Tyson, he knows what he's doing. He's a brawler. He knows how to fight, and the way he was blocking, the hit, it was amazing. But at least I guess with John Wick, at least he can fight. So maybe there's some hope there. But I feel like he's outgunned.
Yeah, that's why I'm hoping that it's more of a support character than an enemy. Although Donnie Yen can play some evil characters, so
he can, yeah.
But that's my dude right there. I was on to him the minute I saw him in Hellboy 2. Blade 2.
Okay, Blade 2.
Blade 2. Yeah, I don't know why I said Hellboy 2, but Blade 2. Yeah, so he was like I was like, who's this? And then I started, looking at his movies and stuff like that. And then
Donnie's amazing, man. I love them with Ip Man.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic series. I think they're doing, or they finished 4, or are they on 5? I don't remember anymore.
And a lot of people, you don't know who Yip Man is. And Yip Man is, he is he's not the founder or the creator of Wing Chun, but he was one who was a teacher of Wing Chun. He supposedly taught Bruce Lee first.
Right.
Wing Chun is a form of, I would say it's a form of Kung Fu, if you wanted to put it in a category, that was actually invented by the Shaolin nuns. And what it is it's a method of actually putting, hi, Carol. It's a method of actually using your opponent's weight against themselves.
Right.
But also, it is not an attack type of martial arts. It is more of a defense and being able to avoid. But you do kick and punch and everything like that.
Oh, definitely.
If you want to learn it as a basic of anything, it is probably, to me, one of the best martial arts that you can learn a lot from.
I completely agree.
And I am a student of Wing Chun, so not that I'm touting it up, but when I did a lot of research about what I wanted to learn, that was it for me, so. And the fact that it was created by women.
Yeah, exactly. Because it was, it's and that's why a lot of people, that's like in the beginning, it was like huge issue with it from the men aspect of things, and they were like, what is this?
Yeah, exactly. So listen, since we are doing Pride Month, sorry, I have my window open. Yeah, that's what happens when you live in an urban area.
Oh, I know.
So listen, we are going to bring our guest on in a few minutes. And before we bring our guest on, I wanted to go over our superhero lists because we are celebrating Pride, our superheroes that are from the LGBTQ community. But before we do bring them on, and I'm very excited about bringing these guys on because they're, we've been knowing these guys for a while. I know that Ralph can actually attest to this history and kind of give like a brief. But I just want to give like a quick shout out and a tribute to some of our LGBTQ community superheroes that are out there. And the first one is Danielle Baptiste, who's Witchblade. I think that this is not Danielle Baptiste. This is the original Witchblade. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But Danielle Baptiste is this one, I believe. Yeah. Right. So Danielle Baptiste, she identifies as lesbian. She's a fictional superhero in the Witchblade series, published by Top Cow. And this character was introduced in 100th issue, becoming the series co-lead. She's an athletic young dancer who becomes a new host to the Witchblade. and the mystical gauntlet of the Witchblade, which grants its host an assortment of powers.
If I remember right, the whole story is that Sarah becomes pregnant and she realizes that she can't continue with the Witchblade, and our friend here, Danielle, takes on the mantle because the Witchblade, it seems, has to have an affinity towards her.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this character is so beautifully drawn. Shout out to any of the artists who supplied these particular
That is a beautiful
shots.
image, yeah.
Beautiful images. Yeah. But so this is we're going to shout out to her, and then let's go on to our next character, who is Heroum. And I don't know very much about Heroum. I don't know who this character is. Do you know? I know that he starred in like the Hulk series. He started in the Hulk series. Yeah, he actually started in the Hulk series, but he is actually a villain from what I understand.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah. So Heroum, he was a shadow priest, and he was dedicated to the storyline of a Sakarsan, who would unite the people of Sakar.
Right.
Yeah. And he was first introduced in the Warbound series, which is the World War Hulk After Smash series. So he identifies. Now, I'm not really sure how he identifies, and I believe that he probably identifies as just gay, and not. I don't think that he's non-binary or anything like that. I think that he identifies as gay. But I have to look into that.
Yeah, I have to too, because I haven't even heard of this guy until you brought him up.
Yeah, very interesting. It's interesting. You know what I love about this is that what I love about the hero community as a whole is that we're not identifying them by their sexuality; they're identifying them by their heroics.
Exactly.
This only comes out during Pride Month that we find out, what their sexual identity is. But kudos to them, and we will bring some more people from our LGBTQ plus IA community next week to introduce you to them. So if you haven't read up on any of these two characters, please go ahead and do so, especially for Pride Month, and support the artists and the comics.
Definitely.
All right, without further ado, let's bring on our guest. I mean, they've been waiting so silently in the background, so patiently in the background. Kind of give an intro for us, Rafwa.
Well, definitely. Everything. It's the perfect weekend to do it because right now, as we speak, Garden State Comic Fest is going on. And that's where we first met Source Point Press through Ben, who's at the show this weekend, Ben Goldsmith, if I remember right. And it was a love affair to begin with. We met him and Casey and their amazing books, and we fell in love with them. And it was a love affair from the get-go, because then we started following Source Point Press, and we started to see each other at more and more shows. And we just had to showcase them because they were such an amazing company of books, and they cover so much. And over the years, as we've interviewed them, we've seen how many different books they do. Mm-hmm. And I feel like this is the company that's going to come out and become that third company with Marvel and DC. That's how
I agree with you on that. I mean, outside of us having just a really natural rapport with these people, they are amazing in what they produce and who they produce. The artists that they produce, the artists that they represent, who are on their, I don't know how you say this, who are on their label, I guess, because it's almost kind of like, a record deal.
That sounds about right. They're on their label.
Yeah, exactly. So let's bring in the big guy, Mr. Travis McIntyre. What's up, Travis?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
How are you guys?
We're doing really well. Thank you for coming and joining us today, and thank you for your patience waiting in the background.
Oh, no worries. It was fun. Thanks for that glowing introduction. I think that's going to be really hard for me to live up to.
Oh man,
this is going to be pretty disappointing from here on out, I think.
No.
We actually love you guys, so.
No, you live up to it just in your being, so you don't have to do anything extra.
Well, thank you so much.
Listen, and guess who else showed up here today? What important Source Point Press, what I told people that are on the label, this guy. All right,
Dirk Manning.
Dirk Manning.
What up? What up?
Okay, this is going to be so fun because we have Dirk here. You know, we interviewed Dirk, which was about a couple of months ago. We interviewed you, right? Yeah. So we had a really good conversation.
A couple months back.
Yeah.
He doesn't have anything new to say. What's he even doing here?
Wait a minute.
Always has
Didn't you guys last week start messing with this book right here?
Wait a minute, let me pull you up.
You guys were all wrestling, and we were having fun. And it was just an amazing experience. You know, we all wrestling loving people here, and I just had to say, butts and seats, man. Wait, I thought there was something new happening here.
Yes. Wait. Let's
what you have just demonstrated is a pure encapsulation of the publisher mentality of what have you done for me lately? as in the fact that we were just in Florida a week ago, less than a week ago.
That was a week ago. That was last week.
With Tony Schiavone. And now as editor-in-chief, Travis is like, what about now? What have you done for me this week?
Right?
New week.
I don't know. This sounds like a marriage doomed for a divorce.
Neither of us could be so lucky.
Yeah. I can hear it now. You don't appreciate me. You don't appreciate what I do.
Yet we do that, and then it's like, see you tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You want some, or as they do it in a black family when you have a fight, you know, or you get in trouble in a black family, your mama comes in the room and says, "You want something to eat?" That's how you know it's over. When your mom cooks you something, so you want something to eat? Yeah, come in here and eat. Yeah.
Right.
They say,
with first point, it's like, here's the new book. Here's the new thing that's going to make money. Here you go. Right. So it evens out.
I remember us talking about butts and seats last time when you were here. I'm so excited to see this. Yo, that's awesome. That's awesome. How's it been received?
I mean, thus far, people have been really into it. We're actually getting ready to finalize the book right now to get ready to go to press. We did 2 different ashcan previews. We did one that Raph demonstrated, illustrated by Scott James, through the Source Point ashcan program. Then we just did the other one, another chapter illustrated by Austin McKinley, that was the AEW FanFest exclusive. And then, you know, I mean, the AEW FanFest thing was pretty incredible. I mean, we had Tony with us for 3 hours. It was actually the first time that Tony and I met in person after working on this book for over a year. And Travis
not impressed.
Yeah, I was going to say, Travis can attest to the fact that we had the line was like the width of the football field for 3 hours. It was
what?
It was pretty crazy. I mean, I think there was a lot of reasons for that. One is that the book got an incredible amount of attention. I think more than we certainly intended it or ever thought it was going to. But the book got an incredible amount of attention, and then because of FanFest, it was like a confluence of events. One, it was like the first time there were like fans in attendance, and there was a huge amount of like excitement, and a huge number of people had traveled from outside of the state of Florida to come to this show and this weekend, because there was the TV show that was on Friday night, and the pay-per-view was on Sunday, and the FanFest was on Saturday. So you had, you know, tons and tons of people and a huge amount of excitement, and you know, we were once again kind of at the right place at the right time with the right product. And it was pretty overwhelming, you know. And I think it helped that we were one of only maybe 2 or 3 vendors who were actually set up there.
Yeah, wow. 1 or 2. Us and Jazzwares. So we were previewing the Butts and Seats comic, and then Jazzwares.
They were previewing toys, you know.
And that was it.
Wow.
And that was it. So we had from the moment it opened until like Tony had to walk away, there was basically never less than 30 people waiting. You know, it was pretty intense.
Yeah.
Wow. So for anybody that did not see the interview that we did with Dirk, can you all explain to us about the Tony Schiavone story and Butts and Seats? Can you tell our audience a little bit about it?
Yeah. Tony Schiavone, or it's called Butts and Seats, the Tony Schiavone story. You can actually still pre-order the book now through BackerKit. Put that out there. But this is about Tony Schiavone's life in wrestling as a professional wrestling announcer. And it really encapsulates his life in wrestling, going from being a fan of wrestling with his Uncle John when he was little, up to getting involved in the industry, leaving the industry for almost 2 decades, and then coming back to the industry and really recognizing kind of the legacy and the impact he had in the industry, but then really discovering a newfound love and a second life in it. I think this is a book that's really intended, obviously, first and foremost, for people who are fans of professional wrestling. But secondary to that, it's very much an everyman story, and it's about this kind of normal, everyday guy in his life amongst the giants of the world of professional wrestling.
Wow.
I think it's a. I don't think you're going to meet anybody in the world that's not passingly familiar with professional wrestling, and you can see by the art there that you're demonstrating. We did 10 different chapters, each one with a different artist that kind of best or visually represent the different stages of Tony's career and life in wrestling. And it's a book that I think people are really going to be surprised by, and it's really entertaining, it's endearing, and it's informative. So it checks all the boxes. It was something I was really excited to work with Tony on, bring the source point, and it's going to be a heck of a book when all done. You know, we have like 25 artists total working on the book.
It has a very old school look to it, by the way.
Yeah.
You know, it's not it's drawn like the comic books that I used to buy a long time ago. And is there a reason why it's drawn that way?
Yeah, you know, with the 10 different chapters drawn by 10 different artists, one of the things that I wanted to do, and I kind of went back to my Nightmare World roots on this, was I wanted to show people all the different styles and aesthetics that exist in comic books. Like the artist on the screen right now is Colm Griffin. This is someone that Travis, Travis actually brought Colm to me on this one. Because, you know, as a publisher, Travis has to be good for something. So I said, hey, I have a bank of artists I work with, I like, that will enjoy working on this. But you know people I don't. Colm is an artist from Ireland who, like Travis said, is brilliant. His style is very different than, like, say, a Jan Apple or an Austin McKinley or a DJ Kaufman, you know, or Scott James. We just wanted to show people that maybe have not read comics in a long time or ever the power and the diversity of this medium, you know. So you go from like a Sally Scott to a Josh Ross to then even in the bonus stories we unlocked through the stretch goals of the campaign, we stretch the envelope even further. We have Nico, we have Len O'Grady, we have Mike Watson, you know.
It's certainly a big part of this was the idea that, you know, we're getting outside of the normal comic book range because we're doing a thing that's wrestling. And there is crossover, certainly, between comics and wrestling. There has been, you know, Boom has published WWE comics in the past and probably will again. And there's lots of wrestling comics out there, and many wrestlers are avowed comic fans and whatnot. But it is maybe not as obvious as one would think. So, you know, we knew we were going to get a ton of people who wanted to read it because they were a wrestling fan that had never touched a comic before. So we wanted to make it something that really gave them a lot of, I mean, and it turned into something where, like, I was kind of blown away by the number of people that we got who backed the Kickstarter who'd never backed the Kickstarter before. Yeah. We got a lot of new people, and I really think that that's good for the industry as a whole, to bring more people into the fandom and into the hobby and looking at it and seeing all the different ways they can get stuff. One thing I wanted to kind of piggyback onto what Dirk said that for me personally was really cool about working with Tony and as Dirk was scripting through the stories is that as an announcer in wrestling, you know, he's not like the main storyteller, but his job is to sort of curate the story as it's coming at you. You know, he's adding a little bit, he's adding some direction to it, or maybe massaging a little bit, or maybe fixing something that isn't quite right. Like, that's the role of the guy who's the announcer, like, you know, to help facilitate the telling of the story that the performers are trying to make.
Right.
And I've always felt that feels very similar to what I do as an editor or a project manager with any of the stuff we do. So that aspect of it really spoke to me as how it's kind of similar, like how you're sort of taking talented people and kind of just trying to add that little bit more, that little bit extra that takes it into being a great thing or something that really speaks to somebody. You know, Tony, of course, is very famous and kind of an icon because he's so good at it, and we were really fortunate to be able to do that. But that was something about the story that I thought was really neat and really spoke to me.
what is very interesting is the fact that this partnership between wrestling and comics hasn't really taken off. To me, it seems like they run in tandem with one another. That's something that's a given. That you would go into that. I actually am getting a lot of feels about some of the characters that are drawn in here because I have been a wrestling fan since I was a little girl. I was just speaking to a couple of people recently that I have in my, I call it in my I have a vault of things that I collected while I was a flight attendant. And one in that vault is some photographs and autographs that I have where I got up. I was in Hartford, Connecticut, and I got up really early in the morning, like at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. There was a big, I'm trying to think of what event it was, but it was when Lawrence Taylor was fighting. And I can't remember what anyway. So I got up and everybody that was fighting in this big wrestling match came in that night, and I got pictures, snapshots, and autographs of all the people. So one day I have to show you all that collection, but I'm very proud of that collection.
Yeah, I mean, that's, I don't remember the event either because I would have been probably pretty little, but I remember when Lawrence Taylor was involved in WWF at the time.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Listen, we had somebody just come in. Should we bring him in?
Yeah, let's bring him in.
Does he know the code word?
Probably not.
I don't know. We're talking about wrestling, so I feel like it may be a sneak attack.
The code word is.
What's up?
Oh,
Frankenstein's here, guys. Say hi to Frankenstein.
Did he miss?
I can't hear anything that's going on because I'm actually at my first show of the year. But I just wanted to stop in and say that I love everyone at Bitten, the Apple crew, everyone except for basically Dirk and Travis. No, I'm kidding. The best success on the fact that Butts and Seats looks like it's going to be an absolute monster in this world, and I can't wait to see everyone back on the road again. So I just want to say hi to everyone from a real life show, guys. We're back. It's happening again. We're humans.
We're back.
I miss you all. Love you all so much. Thank you for letting me jump in really quick. I'm sorry, whatever you were talking about before. Keep going. You're great. You're the best. Bye, everyone.
Bye, man.
That was great.
Awesome.
That was a sneak attack. I told you.
Is
Source Point Press Day.
That was a run-in, like in wrestling. That was a total run-in.
Ran in, did his thing, ran out.
Right.
Awesome. So now can you still contribute to? You can get the book and get the Kickstarter and stuff like that.
You can. The Kickstarter's done. It finished quite a while ago. You can still go. If you go to the Kickstarter page, you just search buttsandseatscomic.com or buttsandseats.com, I think, is the other one. It'll take you to it, and there'll be like a pre-order button. It'll let you pre-order it through the backer kit that's still going.
Okay.
And then eventually there'll be the book will come out and it'll go into mass market and all that, like a soft cover version of it and all that. So it'll be around probably sometime in October, possibly November. I don't have a street date just yet, but it'll be this fall sometime.
Yeah.
Wow.
Buttsandseatscomic.com will take you to the pre-order.
Buttsandseatscomic.com.
Buttsandseats.com takes you to a comedy club, which is fine. But yeah, we're buttsandseatscomic.com, and it'll take you right to the pre-order window. You can also actually, again, the ash can that Raph held up a moment ago by Scott James, as well as the new one by Austin McKinley. You can actually add those to your backer kit and things like that. For people that couldn't get to FanFest, for example, you can add those on as well. We wanted to make sure that people had the opportunity to get whatever there it is right there, to get that.
Yeah.
So
in limited numbers.
In limited numbers. Okay.
So
yeah, they are not. They're very finite. There's only so many going around, and then once they're gone, they're gone.
All right, you heard them, you all. If you want to jump in on this, you better do it now.
Yeah, and it's fun because like the one that Scott drew is kind of like Tony's time with WCW, which is I think arguably what he's most famous for to a lot of people. Then the new one, the FanFest edition by Austin and Esther, that's his time getting into AEW. So those two chapters really give you a nice sample too of like two of the biggest promotions I think he's most known for with his runs, the past and now the present. So
I'm very curious to hear some of the stories that he's probably shared with you, Dirk.
A lot of them are in the book. It's funny, you were just showing a moment ago, and I know someone mentioned the comments about Lois mentioning the book as well. Like this chapter right here is illustrated by Sally Scott, amazing artist. I've worked with her a couple times on some different anthology projects, things like that. And this was a situation where Tony was telling the story of the first time he ever met Lois, his wife. And this very whirlwind romance they had that led to a very, very long marriage they've had. And what's funny is we heard it from Tony's side, and we had a team of people on these Zoom calls because we did everything through Zoom not because of distance, but the pandemic.
Right.
And so it was myself, Mike Dawkins, who's kind of like our head of talent relations. He helps bring everybody together. Our editor, Drina Joe, Dave Silva, who does a lot of the video production work and is there also as kind of like a historian on some of this stuff, and then myself. And I joked to Tony, I'm like, well, that's your side of it. I would love to hear Lois's side of the story. And Tony gets up, goes and gets Lois. Lois basically knocks him out of the way and then retells the story. And, Tony's in the background, kind of goofing out, rolling his eyes and stuff like that. But there was not a dry eye on the Zoom as Lois was telling the story. I mean, you got all these, these big beefy guys, and then Drina Joe, who's not a big beefy guy, but anyway, we're all just literally crying, and because when she's telling this story, because it was so touching and so endearing. So as it turns out, when we wrote that chapter, it starts with Tony, like Travis said a minute ago, telling the story. And then Lois literally shoving him out of the way and then telling the real version of what happened. So the whole book is like that, though. It's Tony telling these stories about his life through wrestling, and it's cool. There's some stuff we talked about that isn't in the book naturally, but overall, a bulk of what we've talked about is in there.
All right. I'm excited about this. Anything that has to do, you've married two of my favorite things, wrestling and comics. Many of my favorite things, but those two are my favorite things. Definitely. I can't wait. I'm excited for you all. And good job too, by the way.
I was gonna say that was me growing up in the 80s, wrestling and comics. That's the best thing to put together. That's why as soon as Dirk told me about this, I was like, I gotta support this.
Yeah. Yep. Grew up watching wrestling on Sunday mornings. Went to my first wrestling match at the Kiel Auditorium in St. Louis, who is now, that no longer is there. And I'm telling you, I've been a fan for a long time.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, and like Travis said, the response to this was overwhelming. Everyone had different projections of what the book was going to do. Some of ours were higher than others, but it surpassed everything we all thought. I mean, by a lot. Yeah. We all had, if you think of a spectrum or a number line, we all had our pin in a different number of what we wanted. Someone says this, someone says we get here, someone says we need to get here. It dusted everything we did so quickly, and it was so flattering and really awe-inspiring and humbling that and a testament to, I think, the love that Tony has, but also the love that people have of wrestling and wanting. And this is no offense to the WWE books, for example, which are more fictional based or things like that, but just a real peek inside the world from an authentic narrator like Tony.
Right. I think from when the WWE introduces his comics, it's actually giving you a background about the characters that they've created that we see, not necessarily a real story.
This is certainly more autobiographical. Yeah. It also has a lot to do with, Tony was so engaged from the very beginning with the project all the way through, and then very, very engaged through during the Kickstarter, and very engaged still going into the release of the book. And so it's enormously helpful when you have something like this with somebody like Tony Schiavone, that it's not just slapping his name on it or whatever and trying to take advantage of his level of celebrity and his fan base. He was extremely, extremely active on this whole thing, and I think that was a big part of how we had so much success with it on Kickstarter. Because I'll be completely honest. I mean, I told these guys before it started, I was like, well, this is the number it has to be for us to be able to do it at all. But if it hits 70,000, I'll be completely blown away because there's no way it's going to do that. And it blew that away.
Yeah, we hit the 30,000, I think, in what was it, like 87 hours or something?
Yeah, it was
like
really
that.
quick.
Yeah,
Quick. Yeah, and it became the highest crowdfunded wrestling comic of all time.
Wow.
And yeah, it was funny. I think backstage, again, I'll pull back the curtain a little bit. I like to run a Kickstarter a certain way, which is you build in the stretch goals, you do kind of like the stretch goal party, and do cool stuff.
Exactly, yeah.
So that people that pre-ordered on Kickstarter get rewarded. And obviously all that stuff costs money, and when you're working with a publisher and on a book of this magnitude, you have to be really careful about how much you're putting in. If this is a creator-owned book I'm doing myself, I can burn all my profit giving it back to my pre-order people. That doesn't necessarily work when you're doing a book that other, Source Point's involved with, Tony Schiavone's involved in. And we ended up unlocking our first wave of stretch goals so quickly that we were blindsided. We didn't know what to do. And it's like we were having all these discussions about what do we add on, what do we add on, what do we add on. And we were unlocking the next levels of stretch goals before we even had them finalized.
Wow. Wow. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it was pretty. Yeah, you can see on there.
Oh,
all
wow.
the stretch goals we unlocked. It was
my
it was
gosh.
wonderful. We announced the Sean Daly inset art, which is fantastic. And it's like, okay, well, this is what we're doing. And by the way, it's already unlocked. But yeah, you can see the ultimate stretch goal, like Travis said, was that 70,000. That was to make the editor-in-chief happy goal.
Yeah, and it worked.
And it worked.
Wow.
And you actually smiled for like 5 seconds.
I had I don't know, maybe like 15 seconds. I was like, that feels pretty good. And then I was right back to it.
Yeah, then it was back to the scowling, grimacing self.
Yeah.
But then it just kept going and going and going. And it got to the point where the way we had it set up, we had to start pushing out the stretch goals farther to maintain, equity in regard financial solvency. And even the last stretch goal we had, it got to the point where it was like the 120 with the championship edition. The jump, I believe, scroll up for a second. It was, if you scroll up, I want to check something. I think we went from 100 to 120.
Hold on, let's see. Right here. So your
Yeah, let me
first stretch goal was 22,000.
Right. And then you keep going. Because you can see we originally did 22, 24, 26. Every 2,000, you get something.
Mm-hmm.
Then we bumped up by 4s.
Yeah.
Then we jumped up higher by
10.
5s.
By 5s.
Right. Then we jumped up from 70 to 15.
What?
So now, mind you, we're talking. I want to put this in perspective for people. This is real talk. We did a stretch goal at the $15,000 jump on a $30 book.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Or you could do the Give Me Everything, which ironically was something I had to fight for, but proved very popular. But anyway, then from there, we went from 100,000 to 120, another $20,000 jump on top of that, and still hit it. Ended up going over 135.
Oh my God.
These are crazy numbers. I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying this because it blew us all away. We're like, we couldn't believe the level of support. And then when we started rolling in all the promos from the wrestlers, I mean, those tweets still get likes.
That was really
fun. Notifications that like someone's still liking the Sting promo or the Eddie Kingston promo or the Cody Rhodes promo, or it's crazy.
It was crazy to watch. I was there with you guys, and I'm looking at the Kickstarter, and I'm following with you guys, and I support mine, and I'm like, okay, this should be interesting. It was like, boom, 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 and it just kept going up. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you guys said at the beginning, Source Point has always been a fantastic publisher. But but historically, I think when you look at the foundation of the company's been built on grinders, grinding it out at conventions.
Yep.
No one really noticing what we're doing and just going and going and going. And then you get a book that pops like Ogre. And you get a book that pops like Haunted Highons, gets a bunch of buzzwords and Twisted. And then you get the next book that pops, and you get the next book. And all of a sudden, we enter this sphere with this Shivani book, which again, it just blows the doors open. But it's still crazy to see it, and it's crazy to step back from it now that the campaign is done and think Sting was cutting promos for our book. Eric Bischoff volunteered to promo. He just sent it in.
I'm like so blown away by this.
Yeah. And that's not to mention the fact that we're working with Tony freaking Schiavone on on a comic book, you know, and
I mean, let alone that's badass enough, but then to get the wrestling world to actually embrace it and have some of the guys that we know are renowned to come in and promote this. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Tony took us backstage because me and Travis and Drina backstage at FanFest, and all the wrestlers knew about it.
It was the show. It was Dynamite. It was
the
night before.
No, he was backstage Saturday too.
So
Saturday after they were doing some stuff for.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right.
Friday night was late at night.
No, but you're right.
We've gone to.
I'm glad this is recorded. That he just said that. I can't.
Yeah. We've gone to a lot of events where we've had people from the wrestling world at some of the events. I think that when we went to the Philly Con, there were people there.
Right.
I think that there's a demographic that completely embraces the culture of wrestling, and you could see those people there. So it's like our age, maybe a little bit above that age, because kids today are really not introduced to that. But there was such a defining line of heroes and heroes and villains at that time that we loved it. And I was just in awe of all the people that were there. I was in awe. And, somebody that's like really young now, my niece, she loves wrestling right now. So I can't say that about her because she came into a family that loves wrestling itself. But these kids have no idea who these people are. Some of these people that, some of the pictures that you drew there, I'm dying because I knew who they were. Just made me just like, wow.
It was crazy to go backstage and like the wrestlers know about the comic. And know about it, and stuff like that. I'm like, oh yeah, Dustin Rhodes, who's Goldust in WWE, and now the natural Dustin Rhodes, he knew about it, and he was like busting chops for like 5 minutes about this book. He's like, "When am I getting my book? What's going on with this?" And it was surreal. It's like, and when you're in the moment, it's like, oh, I'm talking to Kenny Omega. I'm talking to Orange Cassidy. We met Tony Khan, and the first words out of his mouth were, "You guys did a great job on that Kickstarter." Like
that was nuts too. That was pretty crazy. Meaning, Shivani really came through on that stuff. I'll tell you what.
Yeah. And then, but he has to be, in order for him to have the backing of these guys, is because they respect him so much.
Yeah.
And the only thing they do more than respect him is they love busting his chops. Tony hates to be the center of attention. He does. Which he can't stay. He lives his life to put people over. That's what he likes to do. And I had copies of the Ashcan backstage, and I started giving it to the some of the wrestlers that did promos and otherwise. And and Tony and I, we've been working together for a year, and we're always busting chops, like shoot each other messages. I sent him a message when I got to the arena, when he starts firing back on me. And I said, I'm going to get you. So we started giving the comic to all the wrestlers. And I said, and Tony loves signing his own comic for you guys. So we have these photos of all the wrestlers crowding around him. And he's just scowling. And they're like, Tony, will you sign my book?
That's great.
And as funny as it is, it also now removed from it, it's like, oh my God, we're sitting there busting chops with Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara and Ricky Starks and all these guys just hanging out backstage, laying into it.
Wow.
It's surreal. I don't know if you had that experience, Travis, but it's only now for me removed from it that I realize, like, my God, what happened?
It was pretty. I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, I was really excited about. I was really trying to meet Dustin Rhodes when we were down there because, he was somebody that I remembered from like my earliest days of watching wrestling when I was a very, very big fan as a kid, and so that was really fun. And he turned out to be extremely funny, and him and Tony are apparently very close, but are incredibly mean to each other. So I enjoyed that.
Right.
But he was definitely like that was kind of a highlight for me. It was a really good weekend.
So what after everything gets out there, how are you all going to top this? Because this is just a phenom.
Yeah.
How are you all going to top this?
Well, right now we have a campaign that for a book that we're publishing. Garrett Gunn is running it. It's for a book called Good Boy.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw the commercial for that. Yeah.
which is not quite at the same level of Frenzy, but is doing very, very well, and I encourage everyone to check it out. It's Good Boy is a parody of John Wick. And John Wick is sort of a parody of movies anyway, but it's essentially, it just reverses it. Like it's the dog's owner is killed and the dog goes on a vengeance quest. And it's pretty funny and it's pretty over the top and pretty bonkers. So definitely check it out.
So people, if you don't know anything about John Wick's dog gets killed, and this is one of the reasons why, as well as his wife, one of the reasons why he has gone on this rampage. But to have the dog actually go, on the rampage is hilarious.
Yeah. Another thing we've got going right now that we've had a really good response to is the issue already came out on shelves, but we did a book called 20 Fists. 22 months ago on shelves. 20 Fists. It's kind of a weird comic actually. It's actually like a romance story. It's an LGBTQ romance story mixed with like Fight Club.
Oh wait, let me pull that up. Oh wow.
And so we had that book did really well for us. And we if you go to our website, which is sourcepointpress.com, and you go into the store, I'm trying to find the link so I can just have it. I'm slow with that. Bear with me. But we have a variant cover for number 1 that you can order on our website right now, or if you're a retailer, we have deals for it. But we have a Pride a variant cover that's available right now that we kind of did special specifically for Pride Month, and so that's been doing really, really well.
Yes.
Is that what we're looking at right now?
Yeah. Which one? This is 25th. Yeah, this is a gorgeous cover.
That is beautiful.
Oh, we lost him. I think he'll come back. We lost him.
You lost him.
Travis.
Oh, there it is.
There you
go, Travis. Yeah. Okay.
I could hear you guys the whole time. Yeah. That's it. That's the one. There you go.
Good job, Travis.
Yeah.
You found it.
Kyra Okamoto. You guys did a great job there. I'm gonna hire you guys next time. Anyway, that variant cover has gotten a really, really good response. We're only selling it up until next Friday, I think, and then it gets cut off. So
wow.
It'll be printed order. So thank you.
Yes.
I did not draw that myself. Anyway, it's a really great book. It was a little 3-issue miniseries. We did really well with it. Frankie White is a writer. I really recommend people check it out if they can.
Okay, we do that. Definitely.
Ooh, and then I suppose I should probably mention too. So SourcePoint, we have a sister company called Deepwater Games.
Oh yeah, Deepwater Games. We love those guys.
Yep, that's me too. And so we actually we're who are doing the game based on Rat Queens, which is a pretty big comic property, and so that will be coming out next month in July. So keep an eye out for that because that's sort of our big time release for this year. So
I think I'm gonna hit him up and see if we can get an interview with him so he can talk about it.
That'd be a great idea. Nolan Nasser is the guy that has been. He wasn't the main designer, but he's been involved in all the playtesting. He's been running the project since it started.
All right.
Yeah, and that aside, yeah, the Rat Queens looks really cool. I'm super excited. I'm glad to hear it's coming in July. I'm ready for that. I've got Buried But Not Dead. We did a Kickstarter for the anthology collection. couple months ago. That'll be coming out from Source Point in the direct market in October. So really excited about the trade paperback edition of this. A bunch of the lost tales I did in anthologies over the years. It's like stories like Riley Rossmo and I did a story together that inexplicably is out of print. Not anymore. It's in here. And then the other one I'm really excited about is the sequel to Haunted Highlands. The art's been rolling in for that. Right before we started today, I got more art in for that book. Twisted Haunted Highlands Curse of the Green Book is going to be coming out this fall. I cannot oversell how gorgeous the book is. I work with so many talented artists. I'm very fortunate that in my career I've worked with so many talented artists. And volume 1, was nominated for 3 Ringos, including Best Artist and Best Colorist. Mariana and Alessandro are absolutely leveling up on Curse of the Green Book. It is just jaw-dropping how good the art is on this one. The writing's okay. The writing's like, 7 out of 10. Buy it for the art, stay for the story. But that'll be coming out this fall too, and we get some pretty major announcements coming with that as well.
Well, we're looking at the Source Points Press's webpage right now, just to show you all the content. It is rich. Look at these.
They have a lot of amazing books. Yeah,
a lot of amazing books.
Dracula is awesome.
Yeah. It's there's something for everybody here. Something for everybody.
Broken Gargoyles is great.
Well, I haven't been on your guys' show in a while, but if you remember, the very first time we met, maybe 4 years ago in New York, I think.
I think it was New York Comic-Con, yeah.
Around 4 years ago. But at that time, we were releasing 3 books a month.
Yeah.
And now we release, 15 books a month, and then 7 games usually per year, and around 50 books that are meant for just mass market books through the Simon & Schuster deal. So we're like, it's been it's almost unrecognizable in a lot of ways.
Yeah, congratulations again on the Simon & Schuster deal. I saw that happen. I'm really happy for you guys.
Yeah, it was
amazing.
It was kind of a long time coming. When that started, we started talking to them in 2018, and then we didn't end up coming because we had a lot of moving parts. Because we have the games and we have game accessories that we manufacture and all these different things, and it took a long time. That was a long time going, but I'm really excited about it now, and it's really starting to work. And so, I'm hoping that it's going to really expand the types of books that we can do and the types of things. There's one I can't quite announce yet. I wish I could, but I'm super excited about it. It'll be coming out this coming winter. It's by Sarah Richard, if you know who she is. But if you don't, check her out. She did The Ghost in the Owl with Action Lab, and she's done a ton of stuff, ton of covers for Oni Press and Boom, and she's pretty prominent in mythological art circles. We have a project that's going to be coming from her in the winter through the Simon & Schuster output that is not a comic necessarily. It's really more of an art book, and I'm really, really excited about it.
Wow. I cannot believe how much you all have grown.
Yeah.
Since we first met you all. This is freaking amazing. And just like Ralph said, everybody knows DC, everybody knows Marvel. I seriously think Source Point is going to be that third. Honestly, it's just the stuff
your
that
mouth,
you all are coming out
your
with.
mouth to God's ears. That's what let's hope so.
I'm putting it out there in the universe.
Well, I got all these mouths to feed now. I got to keep Dirk fed. Everybody else.
I'll eat ice cream, so it's not like that much. Give me burgers once in a while. Throw me some ice cream, right? But I do like gourmet ice cream, to be fair. So
yeah.
Oh, excuse me, gourmet ice cream. Yeah. All right.
But yeah, when you look at the quality of the book Source Point Press is putting out, though, even some of the stuff you were just showing, the Apocalypse Girl, Black of Heart, the quality of books that this publisher is releasing right now, it's getting impossible to ignore.
Exactly.
And one of the curses of being a grinder is when you grind, you don't necessarily worry. You don't talk about what you do; you show it.
Mm-hmm.
And SourcePoint's a publisher that we've just been showing it. You know, we've been out there and we've just been doing the work and doing the work and doing the work and doing, 50 conventions a year. And now conventions are coming back, and you're going to see, I think, a bigger SourcePoint Press convention presence at some of the larger shows than you've ever seen before. And, but it's something that I really enjoy working with SourcePoint because we share that same Midwest work ethic about do the work. And, and as much as there's a showmanship to all of this, obviously, the Dirk Manning you see on interviews and you see at shows is I'm not like that at home in my office, it's just when you're working. But now it's getting to the point where the quality, the level of quality books that SourcePoint Press is coming out, and I think the level of merit we're going to see when we get back on the road and the advertising that you're going to see as we put in some of this stuff. Damn Cursed Children, another awesome book. I hope that you guys are right, that people are really going to start to say, oh, how have I been sleeping on this for so long? And now's a good time for them to notice us because the depth of our roster of creators, the depth of our roster of our titles, I'll put what SourcePoint's doing up against anyone.
I agree.
Anyone. And that's not, I'm not saying we'll put ourselves over them, but I'll put us with them.
Yeah.
Minimum.
No, it's something about you all. You have your own vibe, and that vibe is just really appealing down to the writing and the art itself. It's like you want to have it, And I think that's what makes anybody feel compelled to buy any book. Is it has to have that right combination, which SourcePoint Press has. Definitely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I agree. One of the things I like to do is go from comic store to comic store, especially looking for my independent buddies in the comic stores. And every time I find you guys are either sold out or there's only 1 or 2 issues left in the store.
Right.
That says a lot. First of all, finding you in these places, that's great. And at the same time, it's either sold out or you only have 1 or 2 issues in there.
Well, you tell me who these stores are because they're not ordering enough.
So,
well, I found you Midtown Comics and Forbidden, Planet. So,
Midtown is a bigger one for us in terms of order numbers, and we have a great relationship with the other Forbidden Planet International. It's a different company really than the Forbidden Planet here. I don't know off the top of my head how we do in New York's Forbidden Planet.
Wow.
But and again, it's one of those things where because we don't do corporately owned titles for the most part, we've really built the foundation of the company on creator-owned work, although obviously that's starting to stretch more and more as we go. It's trickier, I think, at first for people to feel comfortable betting on us. But as we keep moving, to use a wrestling analogy, as we keep moving up the card, it's like, look at these books you're clicking on across the board. Yeah. Everything SourcePoint offers is very high quality stuff.
Yeah.
It's very high quality stuff. It's engaging. It's done in formats that you can pick it up and read it and go. We do very few long form books. Again, people, I don't want to say people have been betting against us, but I think people are starting to recognize that maybe they're not betting on us enough. And that's fine. We're here. We're putting out more books. We're putting out more stuff. And we're putting out a greater and greater level of diversity of books. Readers are noticing. Again, Rotten Tail put out a movie. It's like, we're here and we're not going anywhere. And people can choose to buy in or not. But there's money to be made. And there's books to enjoy. And we have a love of the industry. And we support each other. And
we're giving you, this is the thing to you all, you're going to get quality work.
Yeah.
So it's just, I can't, here's one of mine. This one I bought. So I'm excited about it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I bought this one.
I wish I could show you those pages I just got in from volume 2 right before we came on. My jaw just,
Oh.
Amazing.
Dirk, you have to sign that one for me because I have it.
Totally.
So you all, we're about to wrap up in about 10 minutes, but where are we going to see you all next? I know that everybody's starting to get back into the con. So where is Source Point Press going to be?
Right.
Hopefully in the next couple of months.
I think our first, there's a few things going. There's Free Comic Book Day. There's a bunch of us all over the country at different stores. In particular, our book for Free Comic Book Day is a Gloomhaven one-shot that I actually wrote, strangely enough. Nice. So definitely go and check it out. And Gloomhaven is it's a fantasy. It's based on the game Gloomhaven, same world.
I was wondering.
Yep. Yeah, we work with Cephalofair, which is the publisher of the Gloomhaven game, on that. So there will be a lot of Free Comic Book Day stuff, which is the first Saturday in August, and then. We have quite a few shows lined up for the fall. Of course, it's not going to be kind of like it normally would be, since so many of the major players in the con world are sort of pushing everything into October and late September. And
yeah,
we'll be at all the usuals, right? We'll be at Baltimore, we'll be in New York, we'll be at all the major Read Pop shows. We'll be at all the major fan expos. The first bigger show I think that we're at is Atlanta Comic Con, which is the week after Free Comic Book Day, if I remember correctly. I think that's the first one, and that's the second week of August. And then from the second week of August through the second week of December, I think we're somewhere every single week.
Yeah, we got Astronomicon.
When I don't remember off the top of my head what I don't have
August,
the calendar.
End of August.
Yeah, we'll be Astronomicon. We've got Motor City. All the usual suspects. It's going to be a really intense fall, and we're excited. That's what we're really good at. This last year we had to get good at other things. We had to get good at e-commerce, and we had to get good at this other stuff so that we could survive. Because we have a pretty big team, and they're all on salary, and they all have full benefits and all this stuff. So it's, the bills
benefits.
Bills are paid.
Full benefit. Wait, when did this start?
You're still on that contractor. So like all that, the bills and everything didn't stop. So we had to get good at e-commerce, and we had to get good at other things. And luckily we were able to do that. But what we're traditionally really good at is conventions, and so we're kind of,
that's how you caught our attention, was at the convention. I saw you guys, and we were like, we have to check these guys out. And that's how we got the first interview with Ben and Steve.
It's the kind of the one thing that I feel comfortable being like, yeah, we're the, at least maybe not 2020, but in 2019, in my mind, like when it comes to conventions and presence and doing that well, we're the best in the business.
Yeah.
So, I'm really looking forward to getting back out there and doing that. And I feel like that's where we're really strong, is like talking to people about the books and putting paper into their hands and getting people to walk away with something new that they didn't have before, didn't know about before. So I'm really excited to do it. And now we have, in a weird way, like having all the conventions disappear for a year, while business-wise it was very hard. In a weird way, we have like so much new stuff to push out into the world right now that, it's going to be it's going to be a brand new thing. It's going to be a brand new company, with all new titles and different IP to develop and all this stuff. So I'm really excited to be going.
Well, not only that, too, you all have just a really great demeanor. I think that when people come to your booths, they really, you're just genuine. And I think that that's what's attractive about all of your artists, all of the people that you have on board, your whole team. It's just something about you all. And I'm not just saying that. Sure. I really mean it.
Well, thank you so much. I think that it's definitely, just a few days ago, I was giving a talk to a group of art students and doing like little portfolio reviews for them. And I have another one next week. And one of the things I told them is like, a lot of times, because we get something like 200 submissions a month probably. And I was like, a lot of times what it comes down to is not whether or not the art was the absolute best or the story is the absolute best, because we can develop that stuff. It's like, does this person seem like they're the right person for what we do. You know, like they seem like they're gonna get in both feet and grind it out, you know, and get there. So I think we put a lot of effort in trying to hunt down and bring in our type of creator.
Yeah, they definitely have your brand. Yeah, your absolute brand. It's exceptional brand.
And I know you guys are busy because Casey was supposed to be on, Ben was supposed to be on, Stan was supposed to be on, and Bob and a couple of the other guys, and they're all busy right now. And you know, Ben and Stan are at the Comic Fest, and
yeah, well, those guys, I think Stan is actually at the same convention Ben is at.
Yeah, they're both there.
I don't know Bob. Who knows what he's doing? Lost, maybe. He's not doing anything. He's not doing anything.
He said he was supposed to be here, so
yeah. If don't let him give you any bullshit. He's full. He's not doing anything. He's not doing anything. I took time out. Like Saturday is my work on the card day. Bob's not doing anything. Bob's sitting around.
I think Bob was like, we did Bitten Apple. You know, we talked about the broken gargoyles. I don't need to come back.
Yeah. Casey is on vacation right now, so
that's what
she's doing a speaking engagement for that Stoicon in Greece.
Yeah, but she's also treating it like it's a vacation.
Right. Never enough. It's never enough for Travis. Look at that. You could be in another country promoting stuff.
What are you talking about? I said that she's on vacation, so that's fine. We're gonna give her a pass. I'm willing to let Stan slide because you know Stan's out there probably power selling through all of his books, so I'm gonna let that go.
We got that Rejected Omnibus coming out, right? He's getting
and he has a new thing coming out, and you know, but Bob, no, he doesn't have anything. He could have been there for sure.
That tracks. That's fair.
See, I love that rapport you guys have with each other. You guys feel like family.
Yeah, definitely.
A big ugly family. Too much. I always say we have to be personable because we're just hideous. You know? So,
if you guys ever come. So we have a new building now. So you know we started in Detroit and then we moved to Saginaw. Now we have a kind of a big building. It's like
I saw you guys setting it up. Yeah,
it's like the Ghostbusters building.
It's like the Ghostbusters building. So like like the myth of like the Marvel bullpen, like what you think it was like, and that's what it's like now. It's like everyone is there, and it's this big idiot group of nonsense that's happening all the time. And then it'll be like you walk through a door and it's this enormous warehouse full of stuff, and these little busy bees are packing things and making sure that it's pretty crazy.
It sounds great, bro.
I walk in there sometimes and I'm like, I can't believe this worked out.
Travis is like the Minotaur in the Labyrinth, is what it is. He just kind of walks around. He snorts, he grunts, stomps his hooves a few times, and then
occasionally I murder someone. And
some unfortunate fool that gets too close to the center. Right.
Yeah. Oh goodness.
It's nuts, man. I mean, I couldn't be happier. I could not be happier, but it is kind of mind blowing that it's turned into what it's turned into, and it's enabled us to do so many awesome things and build the family that we have and have, people in the media that are like you guys that are our family to us and all that. It's pretty cool.
I can't wait to visit this place in Michigan.
Yeah.
I guess when I go home to St. Louis, I might have to make like a little extra detour to Michigan.
It's a cool building. I'm convinced it's haunted, but other than that, it's all.
Oh, that's even more appealing to me. The fact that it's haunted.
The fact that you said it's haunted is going to make us want to go more.
Yeah,
right. No, it's a cool building.
Definitely.
It's testament to all the work that's been going in, and obviously, and I'm not gonna blow anything, Travis. Don't worry, but there's even a lot more stuff going on that we can't talk about yet.
Yeah,
there's really big things happening, and it's just
2022 is going to be a monster.
It's going to be like we're shot out of a cannon.
It feels like that, though. You guys, like, one of the things I was going to say, you guys feel like you have this buzz on you right now, and I felt it for a long time, but it feels bigger now.
You know, again, I mean, it gets to a point when the work gets to, you can't ignore the work. You know, we don't have a full-time press presence that I'm aware of that's out there pushing us as a brand because our work's largely creator owned. So like Travis said, we got to push our own work.
Exactly.
But collectively, as a publisher and as a company, man, it just, again, I just got to be cool. I got to just not say a lot, but things are popping. Things are popping at a real hard pace. And, you know, my buddy of mine told me years ago, keep swinging that hammer. Sooner or later, the rock is going to break.
Yeah.
Man, that rock's going to be pebbles in another year.
I can't wait. I
You
can't wait to
know,
see what it
damn
is.
certain we're going to be there to make sure that everybody knows about what you're up to.
Yeah.
We appreciate it very much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely appreciate it.
So, you all, we have to wrap up. It's 2:31 Eastern Standard Time. But before I go, I'm just going to do like a real quick round of where you all are going to be this week so that people can catch you. Ralph, you go first.
Well, first of all, I want to say, though, if you guys want to see these guys in person, head down to Garden State Comic Fest because they're there right now. You can actually get some of these books in your hand right now, today or tomorrow. You can get your books in your hand. That means you don't have to order it and go wait for them. You can actually get the stuff now. And I know that I sound like a schoolgirl fan here, but I've been following these guys since we saw them the first time 5 years ago. And you have to check these guys out. It's an amazing company with a lot of amazing books.
Yeah, and a lot of amazing people.
Exactly. As for me, catch me on Wednesday on The Late Right, and you will have some fun geeking out as we become creative and learn how to become better writers.
And what time is that?
That's at 11:30 p.m. on Wednesdays. The Late
PM
Right.
Eastern Standard Time, folks, if you're watching it elsewhere. All right, and how about you, Dirk?
Right now, I am just finishing up production on Butts and Seats. A lot of cool stuff coming out in the next couple months, well into the next year. Find me on social media at Dirk Manning. Look for the little guy with the top hat and the scarf because, again, I'm very hideous. But
I love the brand.
I love it.
And I guess show-wise, I'll be doing Free Comic Book Day at Pack Rat Comics. And then after that, Astronomicon. We have some pretty big stuff lined up for Haunted Highlands Volume 2 with Twisted, starting at that show. And then New York Comic Con, C2E2, Emerald City. Follow me at dirkmanning.com, new and improved website. You can get all the details there.
All right. And how about you, Travis?
Let's see. This next weekend, if you're in the Cincinnati area, I'll actually personally be at the Odd Market in Cincinnati, hanging out, doing some game demos and such like that. So if you're in that area, come out. I'll be there Saturday all day. Otherwise, I'm pretty easy to find. Travis McIntyre on most social media, or T McIntyre, if you're so inclined. And then I'll be at, let's see, Comics and More in Madison Heights outside Detroit for Free Comic Book Day. And I'll be at most of the major shows probably. So I'll be at New York and C2E2 and all that. I'll be out there.
All right. Thank you.
Easy to find on the road. I'm the one that looks like this.
Looks like the reunion is going to be New York Comic Con, so I can't wait for that.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait.
New York Comic. Oh
my God, yeah.
You don't even know.
No,
All know soon.
We know. We'll know. Yeah.
No, believe.
Yeah.
He's right here. I can't say anything, but
All right.
I get that stink eye. Like.
And you can catch me tomorrow night on This Week in Pop Culture. I'll be there at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You can catch me on Thursday nights with the Tingling Tea, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, where we talk about the creepy and the cryptid, the weird and the wonderful, the supernatural, and all that is phenomenally freaky. And you can catch me gaming. Right now, my game of choice is Dead by Daylight. I'll be on Twitch at Sister Slayer. So with that, you all, happy Saturday. I'm so glad that we had this chat together. Can't wait to see you all face to face at some point. And can't wait to hear what else is coming down the pike for Source Point. I'm so excited. So thank you so much for being with us this Saturday. And thank you everybody who joined us. Please like, subscribe, comment, share our content. And we will see you next week, Saturday at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Take care.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.